My life's not a mess. I'm just in chapter 1 of my new journey. Like, that's it. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel.
Hello stranger, it's been a minute since we last kicked it. And by the way, just got in town, and I won't let cumulus cloud.
Oh, our candle is not lit. Hold on, that's unacceptable. What is up? My name is Dakota. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new. I don't know how to do YouTube videos anymore because like I'm so not consistent with them, and it's not funny. I don't know why I'm laughing. Nothing's funny about that.
Stop it. Get some help.
Yeah, it's just like weird now. Like I don't even know like what to do for an intro. Anywho, why is it so dark? Long-awaited updated Q&A, because why not? So why not? I'm just in the mood to spill some tea with you guys. You guys asked some pretty good questions. By the way, if you're wondering if I look different, I do. Went with short nails. You guys, I don't know who the fuck I am anymore. I used to be all about like extra long nails all the way out to here. My lashes, like this I would have died if my lashes looked like this. I don't know what it is, but I've just been more about a natural look. I don't know. So sit back, relax, get your wine, get your snacks, get whatever you need. And let's get into this Q&A. I asked you guys to ask me questions on Instagram, and you did not fail to ask me some crazy questions. You guys, Dossier went ahead and sent me their new diffusers that they are now selling on their website. I was one of the first round of people that they sent it to, which first of all makes me honored because you guys know how much I love Dossier. Their scents, their fragrances, their candles. I'm literally burning a candle right now. What we're here for today. We're here for the diffuser. Let's see what it looks like. What I like about this is their return policy. Dossier has an amazing return policy where if you don't like it, you can return anything that you get within 30 days, whether it's a fragrance, a diffuser, a candle, and they will give you your money back completely. What I love about Dossier is that they're so confident in their products that they always offer 100% money guaranteed back. But yeah, apart from their fragrances, they also are starting to do diffusers, which I think is so freaking cool because they look just like the fragrances. The silver collar and lid, insert reeds into oil, replace collar and reverse reeds, leaving the oily part of the reeds outside. What? That seems like a lot of work. Hold on, let's see. So it says take the silver part off, which I'm gonna, oh my god, you guys, it smells so good. This is Floral Honeysuckle, and this is inspired by Gucci. Oh my god, I want this as a scent. This is gonna make my room smell so good. I mean, they mean this, and then as to take it out. Oh, isn't that gonna drip though? Okay. Oh. Oh. Oh, how cute! Oh my god. ASMR. So, are you so chic, so cute? We love it. Obsessed with this. I think you'd be obsessed with it too. So if you want to go ahead and try out their diffusers, go ahead and click the link in my bio, go to Dossier, and don't forget when you're checking out to use my code Dakota10 for 10% off. They're also always having sales, like always having sales. So you could stack my coupon as well for additional savings. And you guys, they only retail for $34 and they last a really long time. They have woody sandalwood, ambery vanilla, ambery cherry, honeysuckle, gourmet white flower, floral marshmallow. Ooh, I want that one. Dossier, if you're watching this, please send me a floral marshmallow one because y'all know how much I love that scent. Yeah, so guys, go ahead and click the link in my bio. Use code Dakota10. Now let's get back into the Q&A. Sorry. So the first one is, what's a question and or a comment you wish people would stop asking or telling you? I really don't like when people ask me how much money I make. I don't know. I feel like some people really do not have home training. I was taught growing up by my mother, okay, is that you never ask somebody how old they are. You never ask somebody about how much they make. If you're in a conversation and someone else is talking about how much money they make and then that person joins in, like that's perfectly fine. Then you can start talking about money or things like that. But for the most part, like the way that I was raised was like you don't ask somebody how much money they make. And you guys have no idea how many times people will be like, oh, what do you do for a living? And I'm like, oh, I do YouTube. And like people don't understand that YouTube is a business, okay? I file 1099 at the end of every year for tax season, which means that I am a small business, okay? Like I'm a business owner. My business is that I create content on here. I get paid through ad revenue, or sometimes I'll do like a sponsorship for a company like Dossier or Keen or whatever the case may be, whoever I'm collaborating with for that month, and that's how I get paid. It goes right into my bank account, and I have to file it as a tax return towards the end of the year every year, and like people just don't understand that, and they're like, okay, well, how much money do you make? And I'm like, girl, like, have your parents not taught you anything? Like, you are not allowed to ask somebody that. The thing that I really don't like is questions about my daughter's father. Like, if you guys ask me those questions, that's fine, because I feel like we have a very close relationship. We're like family, we're like best friends, and that's perfectly fine. But I feel like when I meet somebody for the first time and they automatically go into like, oh, well, where's her father at, or this or that, that really just rubs me off the wrong way. And first of all, like, I don't know why you would be so comfortable or even fix your mouth to think that that's okay to say to somebody or ask somebody or anything like that. It's a normal conversation. Like, I say something, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a single mom, and you know, her father, blah blah blah. That's one thing, but to ask me it just like right off the rip, meeting me, I just think it's like so rude. It makes me uncomfortable. I don't know. I think it's weird. I don't like it. And also, it's just nobody's fucking business. Like, if we just all worried as a collective about ourselves rather than about other people, I really think that life would be a whole lot better. So yeah, that's one thing that I can't stand when people ask, because it's like, why do you care so much? Okay, the next question is, I feel like you fake your story times. Girl, I wish I faked my story times. Do you really think that I would willingly come on the internet and talk about all of this stuff that I've been through and being embarrassed by these men and all of the weird things that I have come on here and shared, because my life is literally like a bad Netflix series? Like, if it was fake, I was at this girl's house over the past weekend, and we had like a little fire, and we were like all sitting around the fire, and I was like telling stories, right? And I was just, because it just like comes up in my life, and some of the people there have like never met me a day in their life, so like great first impression. But I started telling stories, and I'm like, yo, I wish I could make this up. Like, I wish that this was fake. I wish that this was not like my reality, but it is. So what else am I going to do about it? Am I going to cry about it? Am I going to be sad? No. Like, laugh now, cry later. Like, I'm going to make fun of it and use humor to cope with it, because like, that's just what you do. And also, if I faked my story times, I feel like my career would be so much further now, because like there are certain stories in my life that I will just never tell, because it's just like, there's certain things that you should not bring to the internet. Sometimes within being a storytime creator, that veil between privacy and your personal life versus everything that you tell on the internet is a really thin one. And for me personally, it's not. It's a very thick one, because I'm a very private person. Like, I could be dating somebody for 6 months and you guys would have literally no idea until I'm ready to share. Like, my mom even like gets upset with me because she's like, I feel like I never have any idea what's going on in your life. Or like, if I'm dating a guy, she doesn't know about it until months or months later. My family doesn't meet them until like months and months later. That's just how I am. I like to protect my peace. I like to be private, and there's certain things I will never come on the internet and like share. Like, I had a falling out with like one of like my quote-unquote best friends like a couple years ago, and she still to this day like stalks me, harasses me, makes TikToks about me, texts me, sends me emails of like paragraphs and paragraphs. I will never get on here and tell that story. Number one, because we're not going to give her the attention that she so desperately wants, and number two, because there's just no point to it. You know what I mean? It's not productive. It's not consensual. Like, I don't know what she would do like to retaliate, and that's just not what I want. I don't like bringing negativity and drama into my life. And I also feel like I don't want people to come into my life and think like, oh, she makes a story time about everything. Like, if we have a fallout, is this going to be a story time or this or that? That's just not the type of person that I am. Like, if you get a story time, it's because you deserve a story time, but also because there's a pivotal teaching point to the story time that I can relate back to you guys, or to, you know, my younger audience, or my audience that's just looking for change or looking to be relatable or resonate with what I'm saying. But for the most part, like, not everything in my life is a story time, you know what I mean? So I think that sometimes like people come on here and they tell a story and it's like, girl, you really should have kept that one in the vault, because that's too much. It's like all just like for some money, and it's like, that's not to like shade other creators like at all, and like I'm not trying to shade anybody. There's like so many storytime creators that I talk to on like a weekly basis, and I love them so much. I just really feel like we need to be careful with what we share on the internet. I feel like the internet is kind of making it acceptable to just share absolutely everything and not leave anything to be a mystery anymore. And that's why, you know, I have pulled back from like telling story time. See, look, the lighting is so much better when it's like this. It's because of the fucking window in the back. I don't know how to fix that. We're just gonna have to pivot this way, because I can't, like, the bad lighting is just something that I can't won't ever work with. I'm like a perfectionist. My wall is so dirty because Aubrey keeps putting her nasty feet on it when she comes up here and hangs out with me. And my Christmas lights are broken. You know what? We're not going to talk about it. We're just going to keep rolling. My life's not a mess. I'm just in chapter 1 of my new journey. Like, that's it. But yeah, so anyway, I hope that answers your question. I don't fake my story times. I'm kind of flattered that you think that is like the biggest compliment in the whole entire world, is reading that and someone being like, I feel like you fake your story times. Like, that must mean my story times are good. Have you ever had any surgery? No, but I would love to get a nose job. That definitely is in my near future. I broke my nose on a swing when I was a kid because I was trying to impress all the neighborhood boys and do a backflip, and like it worked the first time, but not enough people saw. So I was like, no, like I'm a Pisces. Like, I needed to, people say that Leos are the ones that like need attention, needs to be certain. Like, no, like it's Pisces. But I don't aim to be a center of attention. It just happens. Like, it just naturally happens because my personality is very like gravitating, warming, welcoming, you know what I mean? So anyway, not enough people saw, so I was like, I gotta do it again. So once I got all the attention of everyone that I needed, I did it again, but then I landed flat on my face and I did the walk of shame back to my house because I was like, wow, that was fucking embarrassing. But nope, no surgery besides a C-section. What is the worst date you've ever been on? So I've told this story before, but just as like a refresher, or if you've never seen my channel before and this is your first time, I have a story and it's called, I don't remember what it's called, but I'm gonna put it right here. It's like, basically I dated somebody that was like incarcerated or something like that. Long story short, I was at a really low point in my life back in my healing journey. It was like way early 20s. I'm 29 now, so girl, it's been a long time. I was working at Apple Pear at the time, so I just had like really low self-worth. Like, me and Adrian had broken up like 6 months before this, and girl, I was just going through it. I feel like everything and everyone was just like dragging me at all times. I get on Instagram one day, this photographer messages me. He's super cute, and I don't know what it is, but I have a thing for really like rugged bad boy photographers that have gotten me into trouble more than once. So I think photographers are officially off the roster, especially ones that have tattoos, and just, yeah, I'm all set. So he basically messaged me and we like talked until like the sun came up on Instagram. I thought it was super cute and super edgy how we were talking about our passions. I was saying how I wanted to be a YouTuber. He was saying how he wanted to take photography to the next level, and like we were just really getting into these deep personal conversations, which I'm like an absolute sucker for. But there's certain people where it's like you have those deep and intimate and personal conversations through text message, but then when you meet them in person, they're like as dry as a Popeye biscuit with no water to wash it down. And it's like, who are you when you're not having like a social in-person interaction? Like, where's that? It's like going from Vincent Van Gogh to fucking like DaBaby. Like, how does that even happen, you know? Basically decided like, hey, we were gonna meet in person, and I was like, cool. But he was like, the only thing is that I don't have a car. And I was like, okay, no problem, like that's fine, like I can come pick you up. Which, like, I would never do that now. I'm not saying anything bad about people who like don't have cars or are struggling or whatever, because listen, we've all been there. I've had times where I've had negative $15 in my account, and I've also had times where I've had like over 15,000 to 20,000 in my account, doing well, thriving. Like, duality in life, like sometimes like you need to be humbled and brought back down, and that's what God does. And there's other times in life where you're up, and it's great. And you should never judge people at the bottom when you are maybe like a little bit more up than them, because that's messed up, and God will humble you. But for me as a person, like, I know what I want in a man, and I want somebody who's a provider, who's stable, who has his shit together, who's a leader. And like, that's not giving leader. Like, how are you gonna, yeah, I don't really need to say much more than that. So going forward, we end up meeting up for this date. I end up picking him up. We go to a restaurant in New Haven. It was so different than what I met on Instagram through DM. Like, he's talking about how like he went on a date with this girl once, and they were walking along the beach and everything was fine. The both of them were like really drunk, and then out of nowhere, like they were like holding hands walking along the beach, and I guess they were gonna go onto the sand, and out of nowhere she just fucking passed out. Like, literally passed out. Like, she was like talking in the midst of a conversation, just completely passed out. And listen, I'm not saying that that's bad. What's bad is that he left her there. He left her there on the beach after she passed out and never talked to her again. Never called the cops, never got her help, never made sure she was good. Literally just like left her there. And I was like, you talking about this, what makes you think that I'm gonna want to have a second date with you? Like, you're crazy. And he thought, you guys, oh, that TikTok, it's like, you're a normal civilian, act like one. Literally him. I forgot what his real name was, but his nickname was I can't, oh my god, you know what's so annoying? I miss when my channel was smaller because I could come on here and I could like talk all I want to and say what I want to, but now like people see my videos that I never would expect to see, and I'm like, how did you even know I had a YouTube channel? You didn't even follow me on Instagram. Like, so I was gonna say like his photographer nickname because like who really cares, but like you never know. Like I still have to live in the state with these people. I can't wait till one day like I move out of Connecticut and I can just spill so much tea without worrying about having to like see these people again. He was talking about his photography page. He only had like 800 followers, which, listen, I'm not saying followers equate to success, but you would think that with the mentality that he was talking about, like, oh yeah, I try to be in, this is before I had any social platform, you guys, anything at all. He was like, yeah, you know, like I try to be like active with like my followers all the time, and you know, this and that, and like my photography, and like, you know, I have to be careful when I go out sometimes because people recognize me. Like, I wouldn't expect you to understand that, talking to me. And I'm like, you have like 800 followers and you get maybe like 50 likes per picture. Like, your photography is mid, but it's not like on the level of like, who do you think you are, sir? Like, you are a normal civilian. Act like it. Sit down. Take several seats. And then he's telling me how like most of his sessions with girls, he ends up sleeping with them afterwards. Just like a total typical sleazeball, right? And then get this too. He said he had his own place, right? And I went to go drop him off, and he was like, oh, do you want to like come down for a few minutes? I could like show you like my camera, because at the time I needed a camera recommendation because I was looking to start my channel. I hadn't started my channel yet. And so I go down there. He literally, you guys, lived in the basement of his mom's house. And it wasn't finished. It wasn't cute. It was nothing. It was like a mattress on the floor in the basement. And I saw a cockroach. And once I saw a cockroach, I was like,
the ghetto. The ghetto.
I gotta go. And do you think I ever talked to him again? Absolutely the fuck not. And his fingernails were as long as this, as a man. Dirty too. Like, that's one of my pet peeves. Like, people always ask me like, what's the first thing you notice about a guy? Fingernails. Fingernails, because that's how you could tell if a man takes care of himself or not, is if he has clean fingernails or dirt all up. Blech. No, I can't even talk about it. I'm gonna be sick. So there's a couple sweet comments on here. One of them is nothing to say, but just how amazingly gorgeous and beautiful you are. One says, I found your channel last fall. You've kept me together through the one of the roughest periods of my life. And the other one says, love your content on all platforms. So seriously, thank you so much, you guys. When I get comments like this, like when you guys DM me, I respond to all my DMs. So if you want to talk to me, kiki it with me, ask me a question, book a one-on-one session with me, because I do one-on-one advice sessions. I don't have a website right now because I'm not trying to pay $12 a month when you guys can just DM me and we can just do it through there. Maybe it's just me being cheap. I don't know. Maybe I need to grow up. But those are my conflicting thoughts that I'll deal with on Wednesday when I have my therapy appointment. Just, I love all of the comments, all of the encouragement, all of the reinforcement. It just means the world to me. So you guys, like, sincerely from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much to anybody who supports me, who continues to support me, who reaches out and supports me, who says really just kind, heartfelt messages. It makes my heart so happy and like allows me to really continue this shit. So seriously, thank you so freaking much. I love all of you. I wish we could all go to like Disneyland together. Wouldn't that be so lit? One says, what is something that you wish you did in the past but didn't, and now it's too late to do the same? I wish that I did not put men at the center of my life from the time that I was a young girl till about 2 years ago, because I would have been so much further. I'm actually going to make a whole video on, because I was just watching Danny Lee, however you say her name. Somebody did like a deepish dive on her. I'll link that in the description as well. I probably won't. Like, at this point, manage your expectations. I don't like anything, but I really need to start doing that. But basically, they were talking about how she like not ruined her career, but derailed it a little bit for DaBaby, because she was kind of like chasing after him, putting her full focus on him because she loved him so much, and her career kind of like derailed because of that. Not to say that she won't come back from it, but like she was really in her prime. And I feel like when I first started YouTube, I was in my prime, you guys. I was getting like 30,000 to 40,000 views per video. There was so much engagement. I felt so connected. Like, I was really on my shit. And that relationship that I got into at the time, and it's not his fault at all, because listen, at the end of the day, he has his own business too, and he was getting all of his work done. He was encouraging me to get my work done. I just didn't know how to manage a relationship and have a career at the same time, especially when it comes to entrepreneurship, because you're not clocking into like a regular 9-to-5 job or going somewhere and like having that accountability of like showing up, clocking in and doing your job. Like, it's all on you. You're your own boss, you're your own HR, you're your own manager. Like, you are your own everything. You have to keep your own schedule, keep yourself encouraged. And when you struggle with mental health like I do, with like depression, anxiety, OCD, things like that, or whatever you have, it's really hard to keep yourself on track and to do those things. So when during that relationship, I was kind of falling off on YouTube a bit, but when that relationship ended, I ended up going into like such a depression because I had truly gave my all to, and it's not his fault. It's not his fault at all. Everything is 100% mine. It's how I love. I love without conditions, and love needs to have conditions because love isn't enough. Like, I talk about this all the time, and it's just the truth. And if you want to disagree with me, that's fine. Go talk to your mirror. Don't leave it in my comments, or do. I really don't care. But like, love is not enough. Love is not enough to sustain a relationship. Love is not enough to be happy. You need stability. You need security. You need to have matching love language, matching compatibility, matching core values. You need to have your opinions in raising a child the same. Like, what is your opinion on social status? Your child decides to be like a part of the LGBTQ community. Are you okay with that? Your opinion on religion, on race. Like, these things are so important because so many people before they get married don't have an identity. And I can't blame them because it's the way that society raises us as a whole, where it's like, you need to graduate college, you need to go to a 4-year university, then you have to go and get your master's, then you have to go get a job that you really don't care about. You only really got it because you're trying to please your parents, or you're trying to do everything in the American dream way on a system that was built 20, 30, 40 years ago, where there was lower cost of living. Milk didn't cost $5 a gallon, okay? It didn't cost $500 to breed. Like, that society was built off of the backs of people who were just working their asses off to get by, but there was never really like enjoyment in life. And now in society, things are different, where it's like people are starting their own businesses, or people are living in their truth and living in just pure love and light and energy. And that wasn't like a thing back then. It was just like work until you die. And then, you know, now with like our generation, we're realizing like, no, that's bullshit. Like, I don't want to work till I die. I want to love my life, and I want to love what I do, and I want to wake up and do it every single day. And I just feel like, what was the question? Oh, what's one thing I wish I could do differently? I just wish that I would have really decentered men. Like, after, well, fuck you too then.
Welcome back to my different channel.
Are you gonna start a channel? What's it gonna be called?
Maybe Aubrey.
Maybe Aubrey. What do you mean you wish? You could start a channel if you want.
I don't have a camera.
Yes, you do. You have the one that I gave you.
So
You just need a new memory card. Maybe we can get you one today. And you can start vlogging.
yeah, we can go in the mall over there.
No, not the mall. The store. I'm not going to the mall. We're not going to Dave & Buster's. We're going on vacation next week.
5 days.
Mm-hmm.
So exciting.
Alright.
Wait, no, 4 days.
Let me finish this up and then we can go get Starbucks. Say
I'm
bye.
different.
What? Okay. Okay, sorry, my camera died. But yeah, I really just feel like if there's anything that I could change, it would have been to just really like decenter men from my life and just wholeheartedly and fully throw myself into my journey and me and my self-worth and my self-love and my healing and just me, like what I want, to just be selfish. Sorry, I don't know, I'm sitting on like a cord right now. To just be like selfish with my time and with my energy. And I really wish that I could go back and change that, but at the same time, you know, if I did go back and change that, I wouldn't have all of these like stories that I tell you guys today, and I wouldn't have this experience. I wouldn't have this peace of mind of knowing that like I get to help other people who have been through similar experiences as me, and I get to teach people how to not get into similar experiences so sad with me. Like, I had somebody commented on one of my videos and they were like, girl, I love you, but I don't ever want to make the same mistakes as you. And I was like, that's the point, so it's fine. Like, but yeah, to answer your questions, I definitely would have agreed. I definitely would have wanted to like decenter men. Like right now I've completely decentered men from my life. I'm not talking to anybody, I'm not going on any dates, I'm not touching anybody, nothing. Like completely just like, you're over there, I'm over here. I'm just pouring all into myself right now, and I'll probably be that way like honestly until I turn 30. I feel like I'm gonna find love in my 30s. I really have this like just this gut feeling that like once I turn 30, that's when like the good years are gonna start. I mean, I'm living through good years right now, but you know what I mean, like those years where it's like I find love and I, you know, meet the person I'm supposed to be with and we get married and we travel and we expand our family and things like that. I really feel like that's going to happen later on for me, and I'm so okay with that because I truly am happy and love where I'm at right now. It actually brings me to my next question, which is, what's new with you? How are things? How are you mentally? I love you. I hope you're doing better. You're always my manifestations. Thank you so much, babe. That's so sweet of you. Things are going a lot better. I was struggling for a long time mentally with like depression and anxiety and OCD, and like I thought I had ADHD. I went to get evaluated. It turns out I don't, and it's mainly just like depression. And like one of the main things that I've realized is the reason why I struggle and I'm in this up and down segue with depression is because after so many years of my life, and for once in my life, things have lately just been like silent and quiet and calm. I realized that I never really healed from certain things. I just kept going, and I thought I had healed because time had passed and I felt okay and I felt like I was past those things. And when I looked back at them though, I was still hurt and I was still upset and I was still frustrated. And I realized that with certain things in my life, I never emotionally processed them. I just kept going. And I think it's just because in my life I've been through so much that it's hard for me to conceptualize like, how are we ever going to heal from all of this, right? And there's certain things that maybe I'll never heal from and they'll just always be a part of me, and that's okay too. And I'm coming to the realization, because I'm somebody who, I'm like a perfectionist, so I don't want to do something if I can't do it all and at a perfect state, right? Or at a perfect level. So for me, healing is hard because it's like, I'm never going to heal from all of this. Like, this is never all going to be okay. Bits and pieces, yes, we can heal from, we can move past. I never say like get over, because I don't think that's a thing. I think you heal from things. You don't get over them, you heal from them. But I had to wake up one day and realize like, Rome was not built in a day. I cannot heal from all this in a day. I cannot possibly be at level 5 when I'm still at a level 2, and that's okay. And like our blueprints and our journeys are all custom made to us and what our abilities are. And I just realized like it's about taking the first step. I've healed from so much and I have a lot more to go from when I heal from, but like my relationships, I have not 100% healed from. Like there's even things with like Adrian, like I'm over that relationship and I'm over him, and like I don't look back and I'm not like, I don't look back and think like, oh, I wish things were different or I still love him or anything. But I do look back and I'm like, wow, like I did not 100% really heal from that narcissistic abuse. With my daughter's father, same thing, because I'm over him, because I don't like have that love for him, because I really just don't care. I thought I was healed, but I wasn't healed from the things that he put me through, because he is also a narcissist, and he would say things to me that made me really insecure and like question like my self-worth. Like I would laugh and he'd be like, why do you laugh like that? It's so annoying. Like, why are you? And now I'm around people where it's like I laugh and they're like, oh my god, Dakota, I love your laugh so much, it's contagious. And I still have issues with accepting that my laugh is not annoying, or like my laugh is not like, you know, off-putting. Or like I would say things like when I was younger, my catchphrase was like, okay, bye, because I just like didn't want to deal with anybody and their bullshit. So when somebody annoyed me, I would just be like, okay, bye. And like one day I remember me and him like specifically were at the park and we were talking, and he said something to me and I was like, oh my god, okay, bye, like you're so annoying. And he's like, you really need to stop doing that, like that's really immature, like people are gonna look at you and think that you're a little ass kid, like you need to like expand your vocabulary and like stop talking like that. Because he was older than me, because narcissists like to groom and manipulate younger girls. Like I was 19 at the time. I'm supposed to be immature, I'm supposed to be defiant, I'm supposed to be like experimenting and trying different things. And, you know, the way that I talked when I was 19 compared to 29, 10 years ago, is not the same way I talk now. That's because I grew, like I morphed into who I am now. That's what you do when you get older, right? But what like narcissistic men like to do is they like to be older and go for younger girls because they're easier to manipulate and control and mold into who they want them to be to feed their own insecurities, right? So there's certain things within my relationships I haven't healed from yet, and I didn't heal from. I just kept going. I mean, if you think about it, I became a mom at 19. I had my daughter. I was raising a baby. I got into 2 narcissistic relationships and had to heal and recover from those. I was in survival mode, wondering how I'm going to go to school, how I'm going to pay my rent when my ex, you know, left me in the apartment that we were supposed to get together. I was dealing with family issues. I was dealing with just, you know, mental health. Like I was going through a lot. So there wasn't space to heal. There wasn't space to be soft. There wasn't space to be in this feminine, flourishing energy that I'm in now, because I was surviving, because I had to, like I had shit to take care of, right? So I'm realizing there's other things that I need to heal from, and that's why I'm so okay with not being in a relationship now. But anyway, I've been doing a lot better mentally. I've been going to the gym, getting outside, eating better. I don't eat gluten or dairy anymore because it just messes with my system and I don't feel good. I feel lethargic, I feel grumpy, I feel irritable. When I don't eat gluten or dairy, I feel like so much better. Thinking about possibly, I don't know yet, taking this eyebrow course where I would basically be trained in shaping, waxing, tinting, all of that stuff. And also, I am Reiki certified, which is energy healing. It's a Japanese practice where it's like energy healing with your hands through people's bodies. And I was thinking that I could, because I just need like something else to do besides what I'm doing right now, because I'm like very multi-passionate, and if I just put myself in a box and do one thing, I get so bored. So I need like one other thing on the side to kind of like spark my interest and just like keep me going and get those creative juices flowing. I feel like, you know, sometimes I feel like pigeonholed with like what I'm doing all the time. So I could do like this, you know, this eyebrow tech course, but then I can also incorporate the Reiki into it, because when you're working on someone's eyebrows, you're right near their crown chakra and their third eye chakra, and, you know, hands are healing, right? And they hold energy, and so does hair, and so does, you know, so I feel like I could like work on the client and like do Reiki at the same time. Like, wouldn't that be so cool? I don't know, it's just a thought. But anyway, I'm thinking about doing it. Who knows if it will happen. And thank you so much for keeping me in your manifestations. I'll keep you in mind too. One says, have you ever wished your relationship with your brothers would have been different? Because in that case, Aubrey could get close to having a father figure in her life. Guys, okay, first of all, everybody spells Aubrey's name wrong, and it pisses me off so much because it's A-U-B-R-E-E and it's like all over my socials. Like, there's no way, like, how? Guys, if you're gonna ask me a question about my daughter, please spell her name right. Like, I know it's harmless, but it's like, it's really annoying. Anyway, no, because, no, I feel like, I mean, first of all, like, I love my 2 brothers. I have 3 brothers, but not really. The third one we don't talk about, but 2 of my brothers, I love them. I love them dearly. I wish them the best. I hope they're doing great. And I always have love for them in my heart, but we're just not that close. We talk from time to time. We check in on holidays. If we do see each other at the off chance, you know, we picked up where we left off and the conversation's great. It's not awkward, but we're just like not really in each other's lives. They also live, you know, far from me. Like, they live like hours away from me. We all have separate lives, you know. It is what it is. You know, growing up when my parents divorced, because those are the kids that my father had with his ex. When my parents divorced, we didn't really see each other much after that. I feel like when they were together, you know, of course, because I was living with both my mom and my dad, they were coming over every weekend and we were super duper close. And those memories I will always cherish and I will never regret or forget, because I had at that time such an amazing experience with them as brothers. And, you know, I have like fond memories of us like jumping off of the bed and almost breaking our legs and like going to my grandma's every summer and, you know, swimming and things like that. And, you know, we're not close now. We haven't been for quite some time, but there's still love there. I love them so much, and they'll always have an amazing, you know, place in my heart. And, you know, just because we don't have a bond now doesn't mean that I look at that negatively or anything. I hold, you know, I hold so much love and space for the great memories that I have with them. You know what I mean? And like, sure, is it hard sometimes seeing other people be close with their siblings and I don't have that? I mean, a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. But also at the same time, I don't feel like even if me and my brothers were close, it's not their responsibility to be a father figure towards her. It's not my father's responsibility to be a father figure towards her. The only person whose responsibility it is to be a father figure towards my daughter is her father, and he's not doing that, and that's okay because that's on him. That's his journey and whatever. But I'm not going to overcompensate as a mom just because he's not here, because I fulfill my duties and do my roles, and life will just happen how it's supposed to. And you know, my dad and my daughter are super close. Like, she loves her grandfather, obsessed with him, would probably pick him over me any day of the week, but he's not her father figure. He's her grandpa. Like, you know, that's not his job. It's not his role. It's not his responsibility. So yeah, no. I guess to answer that question, no. I have a list of questions. A moment that you felt genuinely the happiest, a moment in time in life you'd want to relive, would never want to relive. If you could swap your life with anyone, who would it be and why? So I'll start from the bottom up. If I could swap my life with anybody, it would be Jhené Aiko. 1,000%, 100%, 1,000,000%. If Jhené Aiko has no fans, then I'm dead. Like, literally, I love her so much. She's my favorite artist. I'm obsessed with her. Like, I love Jhené. She's so spiritual. She's so in tune with herself. She's like an earth angel. She's an amazing artist. She's so healing, and just I love her. Like, words can't even describe how much I love that woman, and I've never even met her, but like, I love her. She is my favorite artist. She's my favorite person. If I could swap lives with her, I would in like literally 2 seconds, because she is amazing, and I would love to just see like a day in her life, what it's like, what she does, like everything about her. I'm floored. I'm fascinated. She's actually why like I started my spiritual journey and started learning about like Buddhism and the Wheel of Dharma. Just her music, like I was really going through a rough time in my life, and her music brought me so much peace and healing into my life, and I love her. So if I could swap lives with anybody, definitely Jhené Aiko. Moment in time that I would never want to relive would probably be, moment in time I would never want to relive was probably the breakup I had with Adrian, because when I tell you guys, I felt like I was dying. Like, now when I go through a breakup, even though I love that person so much, you'll never see me that down or depressed again. Like, when he broke up with me that first time, you guys, before we got back together, I couldn't even get through a conversation without crying. I lost so much weight, like 20 pounds in like a week, because I wasn't eating, I wasn't taking care of myself. Like, I literally was just waking up, getting Aubrey ready for school, taking her to school, going to work, bringing her home, making her dinner, putting her to bed, and crying. Like, I remember like the only thing that I had to look forward to during those days was when I could cry, like just putting her to bed and crying. Like, I was, oh my god, you guys, I was a mess. I was so down bad, and I never want to relive that moment again. Like, and it was my first spiritual awakening, so it makes sense because things had to be kind of like purged from me to get me to where I'm at now. But I literally felt like I was dying. It felt like somebody was taking a knife and stabbing it to my heart at all times. And it wasn't only because I loved him, it was because of the betrayal. Like, the betrayal of like us moving in together, him cheating on me with his coworker, and just showing up to my house with like a moving truck and then leaving. Like, that does something to your mental health. I can't explain it. The moment that you have felt genuinely the happiest, I was really happy in 2021. My YouTube channel had just taken off. I was exploring love, I was exploring life, I went to Dominican Republic. Like, I would say that was probably the happiest time of my life, and I find myself now trying to chase that happiness that I had back then now. But I also realized that I'm not the girl that I was in 2021. Like, I've so outgrown her, and I'll always love her and hold space for her because she is me and I am her. But it's a past version of myself that I would never want back, but the happiness and pure bliss I felt during that time is something that I'm still looking for to this day. So yeah, I would say that. If you had not conceived Aubrey and you were not a mom, how do you think your life would have been now? Would you have had a kid at this age? Who would probably be younger than Aubrey or have no kids at all? So if I hadn't had Aubrey, I think about this pretty often. I can't picture my life at all without her or without being a mom, because it just there doesn't make sense. There's no point. But if I hadn't had her, I feel like I would have really gone down a deep path of destruction. I'm not saying that I was like a crazy partier and like always out in these streets and like doing like these crazy things like drugs. I was never like that, but I was out doing some like questionable things. Like I would get into like cars with people I didn't know, like to depend on rides home or like rides to the place, and like people that were like, you know, drinking and like going behind the wheel. I would go places where maybe it wasn't like the best to go at like a certain time at night. I wasn't taking care of my health at all. I was kind of just like going to work and like looking forward to the weekend to go out and to like go to hookah bars and to like drink. And I was never like heavy on drinking. I've always been that way. I've always been able to just have like a couple and like move forward. But when you do that like every single weekend, eventually it kind of like wreaks havoc on your body. And I just feel like with men specifically, like her father's a prime example, I was going down a really bad road with men where it was like I was seeking validation and emotional stability from people that weren't emotionally stable and weren't even emotionally available, and I thought that was love, right? And I just think I was going down a path of like really bad discretion. My life had no purpose. My life had no purpose. It had no meaning. There was no happiness. I was depressed. I was unhappy. I was hopeful, but I was very depressed. I just was like a shell of who I am now. And I feel like she came into my life for a reason, to make me pivot that path and, you know, discover myself and who I am and what my purpose is, because she is a part of my purpose. Like my soul contract was to be a mother, 1000%. And yeah, so I just really feel like she saved me in so many ways, more than one, and she keeps me grounded, like truly and honestly. Like when I'm depressed, like I have to get out of bed because I have a child to feed. I have to take her places. I have to take care of her, clothe her, feed her, bathe her. Like I don't have time to fall apart because I'm a mom. And so I feel like it does keep me going when it comes to my mental health and my stability and my emotions and things like that. But also she's like my purpose. My life was purposeless without her. And then also to answer your question, would I have kids? I can't answer that because I feel like no first child would have ever compared to all. Yes.
Can I say something?
Yeah, what's up?
Okay. So, I was kind of bored, so I searched up places to ride horses for free, and then it showed here in Wallingford, and Wallingford is near us, so I was wondering if we can go.
I mean, like maybe, but I just feel like no first kid would ever compare to Aubrey, like ever. So I don't know, like I've always wanted kids, so maybe, but like I don't know, girl, I can't even answer that. I'm not sure, but yeah. That's the answer to that question. What's the most embarrassing message that you've accidentally sent to the wrong person? I was on FaceTime and I was talking to my friend, and I didn't know that her friend was there. We were on Uvu. You guys remember the Uvu days? So I was like, it was like FaceTime basically, just like on a laptop. So I was like talking to her. I didn't know that her friend was there. And I was out with like my friend Jenna at the mall, and she was trying to tell me that, okay, we're gonna do names, right? So the person I was talking to, her name's Cassandra. Her friend was Rocky, right? So Rocky was in the background, and I didn't know that she was like over her house, like they were hanging out, having a girls' day, whatever. So she's like, oh, Rocky saw you and Jenna at the mall, and she said that you were trying to hide from her because you were embarrassed that you were with Jenna. And I was like, what are you I literally went up to her and said, hey, how are you? Like what are you talking about? Like what are you actually talking about? Why would I be embarrassed? Like, why would I be at the mall with somebody if I would be embarrassed to be with them? Like that makes no sense. Like why would I pick the most public place in all of America to be with somebody if I was embarrassed? So then she kept like saying like, yeah, like Rocky said all this stuff about Jenna and how she does this and how she's that and she's a whore, and like she was basically talking shit about my friend. So I said, that's really funny because I'm pretty sure that every single person in Pumpkin Lakes High School hates Rocky. So riddle me that. I didn't know Rocky was there. So she was in the background, heard everything that I said, and Cassandra did that to be messy. She did it on purpose. And she was my friend before she was Rocky's. So that was really messy. I had such a messy high school experience. But anyway, so that was really embarrassing because she texted me the next day and she was like, I just don't appreciate how you said that nobody likes me. And I'm like, well, it's true. Don't talk about Jenna if you don't want people to tell you the truth about yourself. Truth hurt, don't it? So yeah, I would say that's probably like the most embarrassing. Someone said, what's your favorite drink? Alcoholic is tequila with club soda, splash of pineapple. Definitely a classic margarita, a coconut mojito, or a Long Island iced tea. And then in terms of like coffee drinks, I actually am going to put here all of my Starbucks and Dunkin' orders because they are legendary. I will never steer you wrong when it comes to Starbucks or Dunkin' order. They are so good. So here you go. Screenshot. Have fun. Let me know if you like it. And give me credit too. So many people try my drinks, but they don't like tag me. Like, what was the point? Let's do one more. Someone said, how do you manage to have time to do everything as being a single parent? Girl, I don't. Hence why like my channel has been lacking content lately. Like, I get why people come on here and they're upset and frustrated with me because of my lack of presence on here lately, my lack of consistency, you know, me saying I'm gonna do something and then not doing it. I get how that's frustrating, and listen, it's valid. I totally get it. You have every right to feel the way that you do. But I also wish sometimes that you guys could like be here in a day of my life with me to see how, like, guys, I have so much to do besides YouTube. Like, I'm a full-time single mom, and that is literally a full-time job. Like, there's just not a whole lot of time for like filming and editing within that. It's way easier when she's at school. It's hard. And at the same time too, like trying to maintain a social life, right? Like, I have friends, like, so friends, and like making sure that I'm still being a good daughter and friend, and you know, like a lot of my friends like rely on me heavily for like advice and for like someone that they can confide in and come to, and I always want to be that person for them. And it's a lot, you guys. Like, and also taking care of a whole house by yourself, it's a fucking lot. It's a lot. So honestly, I'm trying to find a good balance. I feel like I'm finally getting there, but also I feel as if I woke up earlier and I started my day out with filling my own cup first, like waking up at 5 or 6 a.m. and going to the gym, or meditating or journaling or praying or something of that nature that's fulfilling and pouring into me. I feel like my days would go so much better, and I would have like just so much more time to just be, instead of worrying about all of the other buckets and hats that I have to, you know, fill and wear. I could just be. I'm going to try doing that like next week, I want to say. But for the most part, like, I really just try to like maintain a good schedule. Like, Aubrey's on a schedule. She has a set bedtime. I don't care if she's 9. I don't care about these new generation of parents that be putting their kids to bed at 11 o'clock. Miss me with that. I need my me time, okay? 8:30, bed, you know, shower, dinner, shower, bed by 8:30. I'm very lucky that she wakes up at 9:30 during the summer because she could sleep. She's a Pisces too, so we could sleep. And just having a schedule, having like a set time to do things and when to do it. I really just like pray. I just pray. And somehow it allows me to do everything. But I feel like I could do a lot better, but it is very hard at the same time because life is a never-ending to-do list. It really is. And you're always gonna have something to do. Even if you completely fulfill and check off all the boxes in that to-do list, there's more to do. And I just learned that, like, you know what? I'm gonna always have something to do anyway, so if I sit down for 2 minutes and scroll through TikTok, it's not a big deal, you know? So grace and compassion, schedule, and praying gets me through most days. All right, you guys, that is it for today's Q&A. Thank you so much to everybody who submitted your questions. It was such a nice, just like sit down, hang out with me type video, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like this video, and turn your post notifications on by hitting that bell icon in the corner. That way you're notified every single time I post on YouTube, period. Don't forget to also follow my podcast, Sis Let's Heal. I've been uploading a bit more consistently on there lately. If you like personal development podcasts or podcasts just about relationships, or basically me here times 2, you can go ahead and follow me on there. As always, don't forget to follow me on all of my social medias. They're all here, and they are always also in the description box for your convenience as well. And let's do today's post notification shout out. It goes to Pate Elizabeth. She said, you look happy and at peace. I know you said that you've been depressed at the beginning, but I truly feel like your storm is coming to an end. I've been praying for you since the Dakota's Diary, where you really let out how you feel, and I cannot wait to see more videos from you. So girl, Thank you so much for your kind words. They really mean a whole lot to me, and it's because of subscribers like you that I get to wake up and do what I love every single day. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And if you would like to be on our next post notification shout out, all you have to do is make sure that you click the bell icon. That way you're notified every time that I post here on YouTube. Comment something down below, and if I like your comment, I'll shout you out. Don't forget to give Dossier a shout out as well by using code Dakota10 for 10% off of your transaction. And until then, stay safe, wear condoms, don't let anybody's dusty, rusty, busty, crusty sun get you in your feelings. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.
Baby, I wonder, would you just put your sweats on me? Yeah. I got the plug.